Hi, tonight on It's Vegan, I wanted to show you how I'm blanching peaches this year. And you might be wondering, why do you blanch peaches? Well, I'm going to be canning them, and I'm also going to be making jam. But if you're not canning or making them jam, you may still want to blanch them to remove the skin. When you buy your peaches, they're probably going to be under-ripened and hard. They also probably will not smell like peaches. So I put them out on a tray and I leave them on my porch to give them a couple days to ripen up. And as the days go by, I smell them and I feel them. Are they starting to feel a little bit soft? That will be a good indication that they're starting to ripen. Also, when you kind of push on the skin, it's hard to show on a video, you can feel that the skin or the peel is moving a little bit. Now I put a pot of water on to boil and I'm removing the little tags that are on them. Next I will put them in my sink and I'll wash them. Even though I'm blanching them, I still like to wash them. Before I move on to the next step, I wanted to give you a little tip. A lot of times when you're ripening fruit on your counter, or you've got some apples or peaches, that type of fruit that you're working with for canning purposes, you will attract little fruit flies. So I put some apple cider vinegar in a little dish along with a couple drops of dish soap and stir that up, and I leave it on the counter. The little fruit flies are very attractive to the apple cider, and this catches them and keeps them out of your kitchen. So let's move on. Fruit's clean. I'm going to be cutting it in half, and I look for this little seam that you'll see on your peaches. This year with the peaches that I purchased, I found that they just weren't as nice as some years. They weren't peeling normally and the seeds were not wanting to come out. So I tried this other method and it works well. And when you're doing this, you can see right there, there's a piece that I'm not going to want to eat. You know, I never can something that I'm not going to want to eat. So I just cut it in half and then I cut it in quarters, and I'm putting it in this pot that I'll be adding into boiling water. Now you can just use any pot of boiling water that you have, but this is nice because you can lower it into the boiling water and you can pull it back out and strain the fruit. Back to the part with the pit in it. I stick my thumb down in there and I pull the pit out. And again, I'm seeing there's some pieces that I'm not crazy about, so I'm going to cut that off and just throw that in my pot. I'll show you one or two more. And see, I twist it. Again, I'm seeing, I told you these weren't as nice as what I usually work with. So I take off what I don't want and I'll put it in my pot. Now, if the seeds aren't coming out easily, I just cut it again into a quarter, peel that off, and there you go. Then this pit will come out easily. Check it for good fruit. If you happen to cook some that when you pull it out of the boiling water you weren't happy with that, just cut that off also. Simply put your knife around. Here the pit's in pretty deep. I'm going to cut it in half again, and I hope you can see this. I'm just bending half of it up, and then I'm bending and twisting the seed a little bit. Little piece there I don't want. And this half I'm cutting as well, which normally I have canned my peaches in halves, but these quarter pieces fit into my jar really well, and they're easier to actually pack them tightly. Seeing some there that we're not going to want, and then I'm just putting it in. Again, bend it, twist that pit out, examine your fruit. I'll show you one more. Simple. Cut it in half. There's the pit. Cutting that in half. This is what I'm doing. I'm bending it back, and if any of that is too hard, now's an easier time to get that out. Just twist the pit out, and there you have it. I will show you when I put them in the boiling water. I wanted to show you, sometimes you'll cut this open and the pit splits. Again, just cut it in half, peel it back, and it works fine. This one, you're going to twist it out. And when they do that, a lot of times you will have some pieces in there that are a little bit tougher that you don't want to can. Here's the other half of it. Twisting it off, and you can see this is part of the pit that's split apart. I'm just cutting that out, and this one's going to be a little bit more stubborn possibly. Pull that pit out. Now I'm ready to put these in the boiling water. As you can see, the pot is boiling very hard, and I'm going to lower my peaches in. Do this slowly if you're using this type of a pot. pot because you want to make sure that you didn't put so much water in that the water will come out the sides. I want to stir these every now and then because really the water should be above the peaches. But if I have their skin side down, I will be okay. So as you can see, I'm making sure that the skin side of the peaches is in the boiling water. I let that in the water for about 3 minutes. And while that's in the water, I will be making a water bath. So I'm putting water in my sink with some ice so that when these are done boiling, I will shock them in the cold water and the skin will peel off fairly easily. I wanted to show you, I ended up putting a lid on the peaches because the boil, when I added those peaches, went down. So I want to get that hot and steamy inside of there, but it'll still only take 3 minutes. I want to show you, it's been about 3 minutes. I took one of the peaches out, I put them in the cold water bath, and as you can see, the peel is pulling off. So I know that these have been in long enough. You can see I have this ice bath, pouring my peaches into that. And then I have a bowl that once I peel the peaches, put them in the bowl with some lemon juice to prevent browning. So this is the process. With a knife, I just peel back the skin. And when you do this with the pit in it, these are getting a little bit softer because they were in that water bath for a little bit. And I find sometimes you're really smashing the peach just trying to get the pit out. But look how easy that goes. I'll try to get nice and close so you can see. Just peels right off. And this makes the peaches ready to make jam, makes the peaches ready if you want to can slices or can peach, in this case, peach quarters, or you can keep them chilled and just eat them like that. Here's a lovely bowl of peaches. If you didn't want to can them, preserve them, or make something like a peach pie or peach cobbler, this is just a delicious dessert as well. Thanks for joining me tonight. God bless you, and may the peace of the Lord be with you always.